Hi guys, welcome. Saturday vlog. So yeah, there haven't been videos for the last couple days. I have some recorded, I just haven't gotten them finished up. So there will be more coming. The finish of Garage Therapy, I did really like the line. It's gone at this point. It's moved on to its new owner. I'm going to be working on Mile Deep next, so we'll start burning through those and test them out. And Mile Deep is next because, well, I don't feel as though it got a lot of coverage. I feel as though it's a pretty good brand. In the testing of the tar remover that I did, it actually did really, really well. And then also, it's all available. So, you know, if I'm talking about a product and you're interested in trying it, I want you to at least be able to get it. So Yum is kind of out of stock. Some of their things are. Novacar, some of their stuff is out of stock. So we're going to Mile Deep next. Should be pretty quick. They only have about 12 products in their line. So, but I have every single one of them here. Some other stuff I'm working on, Mercedes-Benz. So I'm doing a bunch of maintenance. I did a video yesterday on a wheel coating. So this will come out probably after this video does, but I coated these. So these arrived, they are New Speed wheels. New Speed NM Engineering, they're the same company. They're based in Camarillo, California, or Calabasas, California, down that in Southern Cal. I've been to their warehouse before. I went to pick up a bunch of parts for my Mini when I got the red and gray F56. And yeah, I think they're a super cool company. They make a lot of really good products. These New Speed wheels are technically designed for like Volkswagen and Audi, but they have the same thread pattern and fitment as Mercedes. So these should work out really well on the Mercedes. They do have hub centering rings in order to make the bores fit. So you can see the rings are in there because Volkswagen has a slightly bigger bore size than Mercedes does. So I ordered these as a tire and wheel set, mounted and balance shipped to my door. They have the TPMS sensors already installed, so they should just be bolt and go, right? But I am going up a little bit in size. So these are a 235/60/18. And what I have on here now is a 235/50/19. So it's going to be a little bit taller, a little bit more aggressive appearance. As you can see, I did like a Wild Peak, which is a little bit more of an all-terrain tire. I just want to create that kind of look. Not that I'm going to be taking this off-roading or anything like that, but I don't know. It'll be a slightly more effective grocery getter. In order to do these, I'm planning on lifting the vehicle. Well, I'm going to lift it if necessary. So I ordered this lift from, I forget the name of the company now. I'll put a link in the description, but I ordered a lift. It's a 2-inch suspension lift, 1.5-inch suspension lift, something along those lines. So these blocks go on top of the front struts. These are on the rear springs, and then these are the rear strut uppers. So I might need to do the lift to make these work. I think that I'm going to have to, honestly. That's why I bought this. I won't do the lift if I don't need to, but I likely will need to. So as you can see, these are a decent amount bigger than what's on there right now. So maybe like an inch, inch and a half, something along those lines. Other stuff, I'm just going to do a bunch of general maintenance on the Mercedes in the upcoming days, weeks. So as you may or may not know, you know, I picked this up. It's a 2015. It has about 90,000 miles on it right now. You know, I've had several of them. They've always been good cars. I actually enjoy the platform. I think it's one of the best Mercedes SUVs ever made. But when I buy a car that's used, I like to do what I call a reset on it. So, you know, everybody, every manufacturer and every owner has a different cadence at which they do their maintenance, right? So on a car like this, it recommends an oil change every 10,000. It recommends your filters, air filter, and brake fluid every 20,000. They recommend transmission every 50. Rear end is like unlimited, but also 100. And like, there's all of these kind of numbers that are all over the place, right? You don't always know when it was done or what products it was done with, if it was done in the past, even if you do have some service records. In this case, I bought it from a dealer, not a Mercedes dealer, but like a used car shop. So their records were pretty limited. I could see that it had been to a Mercedes dealership on a pretty regular basis, but not what was done or any of the repair orders or anything like that. So what I'm planning on doing is handling all of the maintenance tasks that the car could need, and we're going to do them all right at the same time so that we now know, okay, at 95,000 miles, we did this, 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 and this. And then from there, we can count out, okay, we have to do the brakes every 40,000 and the transmission every 50 and, you know, all of that kind of stuff, and just know when it was done, right? I kind of overdo maintenance. It's just one of those things. I feel as though it's pretty cheap insurance for having something go wrong. So I tend to err on the side of doing it more often. So today I did an oil change, Liqui Moly 5W40. It's the blue bottle, the Liqui High Tech, I think it's called. It meets the MB 229.5, I think is the certification. So 540 Liqui Moly. I've done this car before on camera. It's pretty simple. The oil filter's up on top. You fill it from the top, and you know it takes about 5 quarts. And I drain it through the dipstick. I use a fluid extractor and I pull it through the dipstick. So I've done multiple Mercedes oil changes. I just kind of did it. I had 20 minutes earlier today and I just banged it out really quick. I did do the rear differential as well. The rear differential calls for, it's a 7590 Liqui Moly product that meets Mercedes-Benz requirements. It uses a little bit over a liter, so you need to buy 2. It's like 1.1, 1.2, something thereabouts. And it's one of those ones where there's a lower plug and an upper plug. You remove them both. Remove the upper one first. You always remove the upper one first. Drain out the oil and then pump new oil in through the top plug until it starts coming out of the top plug. So most rear differentials are pretty similar in that way, right? You just fill it until fluid starts coming out of the top with the car level. So I did that too earlier this week. So what I have remaining, obviously, are the wheels and tires, like I talked about, the lift kit potentially, if it's needed. And then I'm going to do an automatic transmission service. So I've done this before, also on camera, and it's kind of a pain, truthfully. It's one of the harder Mercedes-Benz services to do, which is why it's $400 at the dealership, and it's like $110 in parts or something thereabouts. So you need ATF fluid. I've got Top Tech 1900. I actually have some Pentosan from the last one that I did as well. They're compatible, so I'm just going to use that up and use the Liqui Moly. You need one of these standpipes. You need 6 of these bolts. They are a one-time use bolt. They're torque to yield. So when you torque them, they actually stretch slightly. So they're not supposed to be reused. This is the transmission oil filter. And then this is a transmission gasket. So basically what we end up doing with that is we go under the car. There's a drain plug on the bottom of the transmission pan. Now this car doesn't have a dipstick for checking oil. The way that you check the oil in the transmission is with the transmission at optimal temperature, anything over 180 degrees, I think the number is. Put oil in the drain until oil comes out. And that sounds weird, right? But what they do is on the drain, there's this little standpipe. So you've got your drain plug, and then right above it, you've got this guy. And basically the oil level needs to be to the top of this with the transmission warm. So it's kind of an interesting thing how you do it. It's not that bad. Like I said, I've done it before. It's one of the more pain in the butt Mercedes maintenance items to do, but it is a good opportunity to save yourself some money. You know, like I said, you save about 250, 300 bucks. You end up needing a fluid extractor, like the actual air-powered fluid extractor, which is like a $75 tool. But once you buy that once, you have it for life, and you can use it for a variety of other things. So we'll do that one on camera. I've done it before. It's been a little while though, and I could probably do it better this time. So we'll drop the pan. Well, basically what you do is you take the drain plug out, you knock the standpipe off, and then oil starts flowing out, and you drain the pan. Then you drop the pan completely. Once you drop the pan, you install a new gasket, which is that guy right there, and then you pull out the filter, which looks like this, and you put the new filter in. That's why you have to drop the pan to get at the filter. You install a new standpipe. There are magnets on the bottom of the pan that you also clean off. They'll have like some small metal filings and stuff like that that are stuck to them. Clean off the magnets, wipe out the pan, and then you reinstall the pan, same pan, with these new torque to yield bolts. You only need 6. I generally will order extras. So you can see here that I actually have 8. And I do that because the torque spec is really, really low. And I've accidentally broken one before. And then like, do you reuse the other one that was torque to yield and already wasted or not? Or do you order another one and have your car down for a period of time? So the bolts are cheap enough. I just order like 8 and keep a spare sitting on the side. So hopefully I won't have to use those 2 spares, but if I do, I have one. It's not a big deal. So anyway, put a new gasket on the pan, put the new bolts on, tighten it up, and then reapply your drain plug, new drain plug gasket, which is right here. And then you start pumping transmission fluid into the bottom of the trans, and you do it with one of these. So whatever size the drain plug is, I think it's this ATF 106, this guy right here. You basically just screw this in, and then you hook that up to an air-powered fluid transmission thing, and it puts fluid in. And then you just basically do it until fluid is coming out. Like when you remove it, fluid comes out. So you just have to kind of keep testing for that. But all in all, the total capacity is like 10 quarts. Now that includes the pan and the torque converter. So the torque converter has a couple quarts in it, and then there's a couple quarts in the pan. I want to say there's 6 in the pan and 4 in the torque converter. So you can't get quite all of it unless you pull like the return oil line and have it pump out, and I don't generally do that. So what I normally do is I just do as much as I can possibly get. I do it every 50,000 miles, which is below the recommended requirement. And then I've never had a problem with a Mercedes transmission in any of my cars. So I also have brake fluid there. I don't know when the brakes were done on this. They recommend that you do a brake fluid flush every 20,000 miles. It's not that hard to do. I have a special tool for it, that Motive brake bleeder right there. That red cap just screws on the brake reservoir. You fill it up with fluid and you just air it up and it pumps it through, and it's super easy to do. So we're gonna do that as well. So that's what I've got all this stuff here for. I did actually order spark plugs tonight and an air filter, the engine air filter. So I did a cabin air filter when I first got the car because it was a little stinky, and I thought that that would help. So here under the hood, this is where the air filter goes, right here. So we'll split this in half, we'll put a new air filter in. Most Mercedes of this year range use the same air filter. The C-Class, the SLK, the CLK, the GLK, they're all pretty much the same. Even the newer ones, when you get into GLC, they use the same air filter, but if you have a GLC 43, it uses 2 of them. There's one on both sides. So anyway, all I'm saying is it's a pretty common air filter. It's like $22. You buy the one from MAN. MAN makes them for Mercedes-Benz. So if you buy the Mercedes-Benz one, it's like 50 bucks. But then you pull it out of the box and it says MAN and it has a part number on it. So that's one of those things too that's kind of a hack with these German cars or European cars. They all have OEM equipment suppliers, and it's usually like Hengst, MAN, sometimes Bosch. Like Bosch makes the spark plugs for this car, another good example. And you could buy the part from Mercedes, and the part from Mercedes might be $40 for an air filter. But you buy it from MAN, it's the exact same part that they supply to Mercedes and Mercedes puts in their box, and it's half the price. So I did order spark plugs for this as well. It uses iridium spark plugs. They have to be clocked to a specific angle, so the torque is really important on those. So those are Bosch, is the OEM manufacturer. They're about 11 bucks if you order the Bosch ones, and they're about $20 if you order the Mercedes-Benz ones per plug. And this takes 6, of course, because it's a V6. So just one of those things. So all in, we're gonna probably put, I don't know, maybe $400 in a maintenance on this. I don't need to do it. Let's just be very clear about that. But I like to do it as a reset so that I know when everything was done. I know what it was done with. I know the quality of the products that are in there. I know that I can trust them, and I know that I can kind of reset that clock and come back in 50,000 miles confidently and do it again, right? I think that it's a pretty cheap insurance. It's less than a payment on a used car in most cases if you're buying something used and financing it. So I tend to do that. So yeah, other things, like I said, I ceramic coated these wheels. I did that yesterday. The factory wheels, when those come off, I'll clean those up, and we'll probably ceramic coat those as well before I put them in my shed. I tend to do that. I have Armor, and I also have Diamond Protec here. I'll probably use Diamond Protec on it because I did these with Diamond Protec as well, so I have most of a bottle of that. Went on very well. I liked it. It was good. We'll see how it holds up long term, but the application was super easy and it worked very well. But yeah, apologies that there haven't been as many videos lately. Just been a couple really busy weeks with work and family stuff and everything else, and it's just been kind of hard to get them all edited and ready to go. So I did have one little issue with the wheels, and I ordered from Custom Offsets / Fitment Industries, the same company, and I've ordered from them before. They're a good company to work with. They did all of the stuff on the green Mini, the Mini Clubman, and when I went to place the order, they weren't sure about fitment. They helped me get a wheel ahead of time and verify fitment, do a bunch of stuff. That was super cool. They were great to work with, actually. I had an issue here, though, with these wheels. So the New Speed wheels, they actually have a seat that is a cone, or a ball, I guess would be called a ball seat. So if you look at this bolt here, you can see that it's kind of rounded on the edges. Versus this, which is called a taper seat. So this is like a 60-degree angle, and this is actually like a ball, kind of. Well, OEM wheels from Mercedes-Benz use a ball, and OEM wheels from a lot of other manufacturers like Volkswagen also use a ball. And for whatever reason, when they sent me these wheels, they sent me the right length and color of lug nuts, but they sent them in a taper seat instead of in a ball seat. And if you use the wrong seat on your wheels, they'll wear out prematurely. You could have issues with the contact patch not being enough. You could have issues with torquing. You could have issues with looseness and stuff like that. So it's just not a good idea to do it with the wrong ones. So I'll reach out to them next week, but I just ordered a set of lugs off of Amazon. They'll be here tomorrow. I realized this last night at like midnight. So I ordered them. They'll be here tomorrow. I actually ordered 20 from 2 different manufacturers, and because they're both Sunday delivery, because I didn't trust Amazon to actually get them here on time, and I didn't want to be stuck without them. So I might have 2 sets that arrive tomorrow, but hopefully at least one of them shows up. So that's the plan for the rest of the weekend. And if you're going to ask, like, why don't you just use the ones that came off the factory wheels? Well, the factory wheels have a significantly thicker flange on them. So the back side of the wheel is about this thick on the factory wheels, and it's not on these. These are more dished, so this is actually thinner, the metal here. So the length that I need is about 27 millimeters, 28 millimeters. That's what these are. I think these are 28s or 29s. These, as you can see, this is the factory length, and it's like 40 or something like that. And as you can see, there's like a big shoulder at the top, because that's where the wheel sits from the factory. So the wheel's there, and then the threads kind of come out the bottom. And anyway, so that's why I can't reuse the factory ones, or even the black ones that I have in here right now on the factory wheels. They have the same shoulder style as these. If they were all thread, I would probably just cut them down, but they're not. So those are things to look out for. If you're ever doing a wheel and tire set like that, just check these things, right? You can trust these manufacturers. They're generally pretty good. I've had really good experiences over the years with Tire Rack, Custom Offsets, and Discount Tire Direct. They've all been very good. But sometimes they get something wrong, and they're human, and they're relying on computers, and computers aren't always correct. In this case, like, it's kind of interesting. They actually got wrong not the vehicle, but the wheel itself. Like, these wheels need ball lugs, and yeah. So anyway, most cars take taper. I'm sure that's why they sent them. A lot of aftermarket wheels, like the Vox ones that I had on my last Mercedes, those were taper. So just whatever. Easy to mess up, but it's something you should check. Otherwise, these are super solid. I cleaned up the tires. They look really good. I checked the air pressure, got them set right. I think they did a good job on the wheel weights. They're black, they're hidden, they look good. These are 18s, but they offered this car with 18s from the factory. I have 19s on it right now, of course, but I like 18s. I like a little bit more tire on an SUV. I think that it gives it like a little bit, a little bit softer, a little bit maybe bouncier of a ride, but a little bit softer of a ride. I just tend to like that. I think that the suspension lift might help out a bit too with, I think the suspension lift is going to change the geometry quite a bit. I'm probably going to have to get an alignment when this is done. So that's something that I'll explore next. It's just dependent on whether I need to do the lift or not. And then one other thing that I might look at is changing out the struts to something new, just because the car has about 100,000 miles on it, and struts tend to be a wear item. So we'll investigate that when we take them out to do the lift and see if they're leaking or if they're loose, or what the pressure looks like. Like, are they decent or not? So I'll probably do something like Bilstein or Sox or something like that, like something that's OEM-ish, if that makes sense. This car came from the factory with Bilsteins. So, but I think I think Bilstein has had some quality issues, is what I've been reading on some of their aftermarket stuff. So I think SOC is the one that you want to go with, SACHS. So yeah, I mean, that's what the weekend looks like. It's Saturday night. I was helping a family member move all day, so I didn't really get a chance to make any videos, but I did have a 6x12 trailer on the back of this, a U-Haul trailer with several thousand pounds of stuff in it. And I will say, like, this car pulling its own weight uphill actually does a really good job. Like, I've just been thoroughly impressed with the towing capability of all of my Mercedes cars. I make this joke that the fastest that our Miata ever did a 0 to 60 was on the trailer behind my GLC 43, and it's probably true. But anyway, yeah. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for standing by. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you have a happy Easter. Bye.